The Battle of Hostomel's airport, also known as Antonov Airport, started on the first day of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The airport is situated on the northwestern side of Kyiv, and it is clear that the Russian military saw it as a very strategic asset, a platform it could use to airlift thousands of troops and equipment. From Hostomel, these airlifted forces would be within a stone's throw of Ukraine's capital. First-hand accounts of what happened on that day now explain why Russia could never make use of the airport, and why Russian forces had to retreat from the area after weeks of fighting. The Wall Street Journal recently published an article about what happened during the Battle of Hostomel Airport during the first day of the Russian invasion. The journal quoted first-hand accounts that said the airport was hit by a Russian cruise missile at 7 a.m. on the morning of February 24th. A few hours later, dozens of Russian attack helicopters and aircraft started strafing the airport's defenders with rockets and machine gun fire. The airport's defenders were Ukraine's elite Rapid Reaction Brigade, who were based at the airport to deploy their skill set quickly. The defenders quickly recovered and started to fan out over the large airbase, armed with rifles, anti-aircraft guns, and some shoulder-fired anti-aircraft missiles. The Russian aircraft flew in twos and threes, circling the strike runs on the airport and the base. This initial Russian barrage badly damaged the largest transport aircraft ever made, the Ukrainian-made Antonov An-225. The defenders say they managed to down 3 Russian helicopters with missiles and another 2 with heavy machine gun fire. Footage released on social media shows Russian soldiers inside a Russian helicopter as it came in to land in the airport battle zone. Through the window, many Russian soldiers can be seen fanning out on the fields around the airstrips. After the helicopter lands, the soldiers can be seen dismounting and using small trees and bushes as cover. Many of the soldiers can be seen carrying RPG-type anti-tank rocket launchers strapped to their backpacks. The Wall Street Journal reports that, after nearly 3 hours of strafing Hostomel Airport on the first day of the invasion, Russian helicopters started to disgorge elite Russian soldiers on the most remote parts of the airport's open fields. These troops could later be seen on helmet cam as they carefully engaged the remaining resistance and moved toward the airport's built-up area. Here, they set up roadblocks and anti-tank missiles to stop Ukrainian counterattacks. As the Russians dug in, Ukrainian intelligence realized that Moscow planned to send 18 transport aircraft into Ukraine from Belarus. That night, a unit of 48 Ukrainian paratroopers jumped into 3 helicopters and sped toward Hostomel. Their mission was to get close enough to the landing strip to destroy at least the first Russian transport aircraft so no others would dare to land. The small Ukrainian force dismounted in a field west of the airport and approached it on foot under cover of darkness. Suddenly, a Russian surveillance drone buzzed over them, and they realized that they had been spotted. The journal says the Ukrainians, knowing they had been spotted, stormed the airport, but they ran into the airport's tall concrete wall topped with barbed wire. Lacking explosives to blast through, the team cut a hole in the wire and started scaling the wall. 5 made it over. Then a Russian machine gun opened up at them. 3 of the Ukrainians were badly injured. The incoming fire pinned the team down, and a grenade exploded close to them, setting the grass around them on fire. They realized that the enemy had used their time to build a strong line of defense, so they called in coordinates for Ukrainian artillery to hit the enemy from the south. At that stage, another Ukrainian attack was launched by an armored unit that had approached the airport from the north, so the team managed to set up firing positions for anti-aircraft missiles. Their commander was then told via radio that the Russian aircraft operation was called off because the Russians realized Ukrainian missile teams were active in the zone outside the airport perimeter. The journal reports that after calling in an artillery strike, the small Ukrainian paratrooper force set up missile firing positions to take out any Russian planes that might try to land at the airport. Having taken several casualties, the main force then retreated toward the south. Suddenly, they heard the roar of Russian tanks and BMPs coming in their direction. The Ukrainians scurried to set up an ambush in the dark. When the Russian armor came within range, they fired an anti-tank missile, which destroyed the leading tank. They then fired rocket-propelled grenades at the remaining vehicles, which quickly turned around and sped away. A short while later, the soldiers were met by civilians who used their cars to take the injured to hospital. Over the next few days, Ukrainian forces managed to halt Russian forces on a front line around Hostomel. Since that first day of the invasion, heavy fighting has continued for weeks around the airport, and Russia has been unable to land its big transport planes at the airport, which lies just outside Kyiv. Fighting continued inside the airport itself for many weeks. It was the site of ferocious fighting and changed hands several times. Radio Free Europe reports that by April 3rd, the last Russian troops had been forced to withdraw from the airport. The airport now lies in ruins with dozens of destroyed Russian military vehicles littering the tarmac. The suburb of Irpin, which lies between the airport and Kyiv, had taken the brunt of the fighting. Almost all the houses in the sparse neighborhood were destroyed, and the area is littered with burnt-out Russian tanks and other war machines.
For more news animations and explainers, hit the subscribe and bell button to join the TomoNews family. Thanks for watching.